Yes, there is Star Wars content in this book. So this is A Pocketful of Happiness by Richard E. Grant. I give this 4 stars. It's a funny and poignant read. This is 324 pages and it's actually signed by Richard E. Grant. My sister got this for me. She went to a signing, so thank you, Ingrid. Richard E. Grant is one of those actors that is very recognizable to me, but I couldn't really tell you what movies he's been in. He seems to have been in a lot of small roles. His most famous movie is probably Withnail and I, which I haven't actually seen, but I have seen him in Star Wars, and I remember seeing him in the Loki TV show Small Parts. So what is this? This is a kind of autobiography of Richard E. Grant, although really half of it is his diary entries from 2021, from the time of his wife's cancer diagnosis until her death. The other half is entries mixed in about various times in his life, like parts of his childhood, getting his first work and going to the Oscars. There are also a bunch of entries from 2018 when he was in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, which I enjoyed being a Star Wars fan. He had a fairly minor part, which I think he did exceedingly well, regardless of what you thought of the movies. There's some funny stuff in here, like having to learn the lines in Star Wars with kind of techno gobbledygook, he said was a bit difficult. And he obviously had a great time, and that's about all there is about Star Wars in this. Sorry for the clickbaity thumbnail. Anyway, it's funny, a lot of the book he talks about how starstruck he is when he gets to meet these Hollywood movie stars. There's a page full of kind of selfies with all these famous people. And he's giddy with excitement when he gets to finally meet Barbra Streisand. He's just like this absolute mega fan of Barbra Streisand. He even has a statue in his garden of Barbra Streisand's head, which is a little bit odd. And so he's starstruck by all these movie stars. And then on the other hand, he and his wife are at home, dealing with this whole cancer thing. And there's all these famous people kind of dropping in on them, like Nigella Lawson brings around some soup. And at one point, even Charles and Camilla drop in on them. I mean, what kind of guy is this that just has, just have Charles and Camilla over? You're starstruck about these movie stars, and yet you've got these other people that are just amazingly famous, just dropping around for afternoon tea. What was wonderful about this book, which I had no idea about, was learning about his wife. Apparently, it sounds like she was the dialect coach for the industry. Any English actor has probably had coaching lessons with her. And there's an interesting documentary she did about Edwardian speech, which is available on YouTube. I'll put a link in the show notes if you're interested in that. And what was also perhaps most endearing about this book is how normal his life seemed to be. Like, he just talks about them watching TV and playing Scrabble and mowing the lawn. Have King Charles and Camilla over, but then you're just out mowing the lawn. It was a little bit repetitive in parts, but that's life. I mean, this is his diary of that last almost year with his wife as she gradually gets worse and worse and eventually passes away. And it is very poignant and quite sad when that happens. But she said to him, you need to find a pocket full of happiness in every day. And so him writing this book was one of those things. And it was just a lovely read. So thank you again, Ingrid, for the book, and highly recommend it.